There we go. What's happening? Hope everybody's doing well. We're live again. Today we're talking fairways, three woods, 3 metals, driver, all that good stuff. We've got a lawnmower right behind me, or a weed whacker or something. That's always exciting. So hopefully that dude will be done soon. I know we don't like that. I don't like that. And I think what we'll do is we'll back up the show time an hour in the future. We'll go at 4. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you think. Should we go back an hour? Really, I'm worried about sun, where the sun is. So when I have to set up, like, this is all in the sun, and then the sun moves, and it's just kind of awkward. So I'm thinking we might back it up an hour to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But yeah, let me know what you guys think too. Thumbs up, thumbs down, I don't know. If you're new here or whatever, and you're looking for golf instruction, cool video, fun videos, hopefully they're helpful, please consider subscribing. That'd be awesome, appreciate it. And otherwise, I'm glad you're here. However many of you there are. And get your questions in. We're talking hybrids, Fairway Metals, and our driver, and really how to get consistent with those clubs. So I'm just gonna start off with my hybrid. I have a Ping I-15. This thing's old, but I don't know, I just love it. It's all beat up, 20 degrees aloft. So I've just had so much success with this. When I pull it out of my bag, I just feel like good things are gonna happen. So it's hard to get rid of something when you've got that type of connection to it. So that's why I keep it. So here's what I suggest you do. The key to hitting good hybrids is using the sole of the club. Making sure this drags on the ground. What I always find interesting is when you're hitting a hybrid, it's pretty easy to let the sole drag on the ground, or just scoop. That's why they built these clubs. This is your sole, and nice large sole just glides right through the ground. So when you're using a wedge, though, so many of us have a difficult time getting the exact same feeling with the sole of the wedge along the ground. We dig it in when you want to use that sole, and it's the exact same feeling. So I think the hybrid and the wedge really go hand in hand, because you're really using the sole on both clubs if you use it correctly, the wedge, and you want to be able to use that. And so the reason I bring that up is because I recommend you start your hybrid and fairway metal training just by chipping with your hybrid. Learn this little chip shot, and you're just brushing the sole of the club off the ground. This will help cure any over-the-top moves you might have. It's hard to come over the top on a little chip shot, so I just set up straight, and I set up square, everything in the middle of my stance, 50-50 weight. I choke down like, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, like almost to the shaft, right at the end of the grip. And that would be my little chip and run shot that I would play. And I'm just gonna try to hit the right side of the net with my chip. Just push that out there, just like that. And this is where I begin if I'm struggling or I wanna get good with my hybrids and these clubs off the fairway from however far away you hit it. I would start chipping, because you wanna learn the feeling of brushing that sole of the club on the ground. Right, it's just right here. Right there. Get that feeling. Learn that feeling first. And as you develop that, then lengthen the swing. So this would be just step 1. Really choke down. Feet almost close together. Weight is 50-50. Push it out to the right. And I'm turning, just rotating. As always. Right there. Keep those arms straight all the way through. not doing too much. I want to keep it as simple as possible. I'm not setting wrists here, not doing, just back, rotate through, back, rotate through. This is just step one. And practice this on at the short game area. Back. If you have that long of distance to hit, I would really highly recommend that. How can I not suck at golf anymore? Watch this channel. We're gonna help you, Albert. You got it, buddy. Impact. Okay, hit my 5-wood great, but struggle with the 3-wood. Any help? Yes. We're gonna get there. I can hit almost every club decent except for my dang driver. That's very. I feel your pain. A lot of us have been there. Okay, so all our Fairway Metals are going to have the same approach. So we're going to start here. Even our 3, you want to hit some little chip shots with this thing. Okay, I have a Titleist 917 F2, 16.5 degrees of loft on my 3 metal. That's a lot of loft, considering 14, 14.5, 13, anywhere from 12.5 to, this is almost like a 4-wood. So I highly recommend you get fit so that your 3 and your driver don't carry the same distance. That's what was going on with me. So I went with more loft with the 3 to kind of bring the distance back. Got more height, which really helps me. And that's why I have a 20-degree hybrid, 16, so it's like 3.5 degrees more, and a little shorter shaft, so it goes a little higher, a little shorter. And so my spacing with my longer clubs is good. Because I actually hit, for some reason I hit the 3 farther than, like, I don't know, normal, but my driver's more average for, you know, for me. So it just, you just can't go and grab one off the shelf and expect like everything's gonna work out perfectly. If you're having trouble, the shaft could be too heavy, it could be too stiff, it could be the wrong length, you could have the wrong loft. There's so many things that can affect how well you hit these things. And then the hybrid's gonna be a little easier because it's a shorter club, a lot more loft. It's more like a longer iron. So you're gonna have better success with that. So that's why I recommend really getting fit for like my swing weight on this shaft. It's a stiff shaft, but it's got it's a 60-gram shaft in weight. So they're lighter. Sometimes you want to go lighter shaft, but stiffer. Sometimes you want heavier, but more flex. Everybody's different. So you got to kind of figure out what works for you, because everything plays. The length of your arms, your height, your swing speed, your swing plane. All of that's going to affect which shaft and loft lie setup is correct for you. And again, I would start, same thing with your 3, same little chip shot here. This work will never hurt you. This will never hurt you. Full swing every time can hurt you. But doing this, that will never hurt your game. It will never get you off. Okay? If I take a full swing though, and I'm a little crooked, that can mess me up. So don't be afraid to go and practice these little shots. A ton of those, because it's not going to ever hurt you. You only get better. Okay, Spencer says his hybrid seems to go too high and nowhere. For sure. For sure. That's why you need to get fit. That's really a key. These clubs, more so than your irons, it's really about, okay, the shaft, everything really needs to be fit, and your loft and lie angle. And then as you get into the longer clubs, the shaft flex, the length, the weight, the loft of the club is really going to have a huge impact of what you're doing, as well as your setup. So here's my hybrid. After I do some chip shots, now I'm gonna kind of get into my full swing. I don't want to set that thing up off my left foot, nor do I want it off my left ear. I want this more just slightly in front of center. So here's center would be my nose. I've got it like on my left eye, right here. They're sawing something next door too. Dude's been working on that house for like a month. Okay, so just off my left eye, that's where you want it. You could play hybrids in the center of your stance too. Don't be afraid of that. So, off my left eye, right? Okay, that's setup. So you could have a problem if you're hitting it too high, your setup could be off. So you want to check that. So I just set up just slightly in front of center and just give myself a little tilt. If you're tilting too much, that's going to affect the trajectory as well. Just want a slight tilt. I'm not big on like degrees because we don't know what degree we need. We just, right there, that slight tilt, okay? And that's your swing. The key is don't swing it back up here, okay? In order to hit good solid hybrids and woods, we got to get that club traveling in on a flatter plane. It's got to be coming in here. Like, you're not coming steep down on it. That's never going to help you. You've got to be attacking from low in here. Shallow is what we call it. This shallow plane. So it's easier to shallow that club out when your swing is right here. If your swing gets up here, it's hard to get that club back in this shallow position. And don't get confused. Shallowing the club out doesn't get it stuck back here. All right? You know, you hear that, oh, I got stuck. Getting stuck is when your hips come forward and your hands are back here because you pulled down. Now you're stuck because your hip have shot forward here. So now I'm stuck in here and I have to flip my hands. That's a big difference than rotating those hips. And be like, I'm not stuck here, as crazy as this might look, because my hips are rotating, my hands, because there's nothing sticking me on this side of my swing, right? If I shoot my hips forward, my body is forcing me to be stuck. And now I'm like this. This is sticking me. If I rotate, my hands could be, I could be way back here. It doesn't matter. I'm not stuck because there's nothing preventing me from releasing the club. Boom. And that is not getting stuck. So shallowing out the club does not get it stuck behind you. All right, Brent, we'll get to your question. You got it. Thanks, by the way. So I just want to go over that, okay? Don't sweat shallowing that club out down here, because that's not going to get the club stuck. Okay, Brent has a question. Can you go over alignment when you have right to left, wind right to left, or when you're on a side hill lie, do you align to center of the green? Okay. So we'll kind of apply it to these hybrids we're hitting right now as well. Going over alignment, how do you align yourself when there's wind? So I talked last time a lot about aiming for the center of the green. So let's say we're going to continue aiming at the center of the green, but there's a lot of wind right to left. A lot of wind right to left. So, you know, how much wind do we have to account for? Here's the thing. When you're lining up, when there's a lot of wind, let's say it's going to affect your ball quite a bit. Now there's a whole different mindset when it comes to where to aim, because I'm thinking about, just my mind going into the round is I'm gonna miss a lot more greens. So now I'm thinking about where do I want my chip shot to be if I miss. So big right to left wind, let's say that pin's back right, I don't mind missing left. So I'm gonna aim, let's say center of the green. Now I'm gonna account for a little bit of wind in my shot. Now, when we were talking this, remember we were working the ball left to right, right to left, high and low. So that's gonna also come into play as well. So what I'm gonna do is line up center. I'm gonna take one extra club, and then I'm gonna play a right to left or low shot. So let's say pin's back right, and I have this hybrid. Let's say I hit this 220, 225. So I got a wind right to left. So, okay, I'm gonna take my hybrid, I'm gonna aim center of the green. I'm taking an extra club. I'm still aim center, but now I'm just gonna hit a low cutting shot back into the wind. So I'm set up the same way, and I'm just gonna try to pull this a little to the left with my body, but I'm just taking one extra club, and I'm still aiming center, but playing that low little cut. And that's how I'd go over it, right? You want to take a little extra club when there's a lot of wind, and just continue to play your shots and aim center. Continue to aim center. Align center of the green where the big part of the green is, especially in the wind. Take one extra club and then play the shot, that low cut, that low draw, whatever is appropriate for that wind direction. That's how I go over that. Okay, what's the best way to approach a par 3 that requires a fairway wood distance, layup, go for it, etc.? Okay, I do play a course that has like this 220 yard, 230 yard par 3, depending on where they put the tees. So it's anywhere from a 4-iron to 3 wood. And here's what I do. On this particular hole, I have a spot that I pick out based on the pin location that I say, can I get up and down from there? Where can I get up and down from? Where can I not get up and down from? And I start there. So let's say it's a front left pin. Well, I can't miss short left because I can't get up and down from there, but I can miss long. So then I would say, okay, I can miss long right. So let me take a little extra club. That's not a big deal because I'm just chipping back down. I have a lot of green to work with. That's how I work on those. I always start with where can I get up and down from? Where can I not get up and down from? Play those odds. That's going to really help. And now let's say but also, here's what we have to fight against. The long shots. This is why fairway and hybrid clubs can really cause us a lot of problems. We want to swing harder. You have a long 230, 40, 50 yard par 3. The tendency is to swing harder. And how do we fight that? Okay? Especially when you're hitting a hybrid. Again, that first step of where can I get up and down from and where can't I get up and down from is going to be huge. Keeping that short swing is going to be a huge piece of this because you want to get that flattened out here and rotate in. Right in there. And our number one goal is smooth swing. Okay? If I hit a smooth swing, if I take a smooth swing, and I miss in my spot where I can get up and down, I'm totally fine. I'm good. So that's really what I'm focused on. Many times on these long par 3s, pins, whatever, back left. So I'm aiming off the green sometimes. I know I just talked about aim center of the green, but it's a long par 3. I've got a hybrid. I'm like, okay, let me aim where I can get up and down from, right? So I'm aiming right side of that green because I know anywhere right of that spot I can get up and down. And if I pull it a little, then it's on the green. If I hit it straight, I'm just right side of the green. I have a longer putt. So I will make sure that I'm picking my up and down location. And I look at that and I'm like, okay, now I'm not thinking about distance. I'm not thinking about the pin. I'm just thinking about, you know, I could totally miss this green and feel confident that I hit a good shot and all is good. And then I'll take my swing. So I always want to have a positive approach going in. All right, let's work on a little drill here that I like that will help you with your fairway shots. Okay, just looking at your questions here. Yeah, okay, we'll get there. All right, so you've seen these guys, little noodles. Okay, this is what I like to do. I like to put one, let's put it there. Put my ball in there. It's a little bent, which is fine, okay? Now, I do a lot of shots like this, where now all this is doing is help give me a visual aid for really follow through. I kind of want my club just to go here. Like, it just helps me, gives me some three-dimensional perspective of where I want the club to go. So it really doesn't do much other than kind of gives me a visual aid beyond the ball. So I know where I want my club to fall through. So I'll hit like this and start out like this and feel that for a number of shots. Helps me just understand where I'm going. Now, after I do that a bunch, I'll kind of reverse it. Just pull this here, and I'll put this on this side, okay? And this is where it really helps. But I like doing both sides because it just feels like, you know, I'm getting used to something being there, and we're getting to it one step at a time. And I'm working. It's kind of like when you work out, you're doing your left arm and you do your right arm. So I do this side of the ball, I'm doing that side of the ball. So on this side, I want it just straight along the mat. I want it about a club or two clubs. I want the ball about maybe 2 club heads beyond the noodle, okay? Here's what's key. I want to take it back, the club to travel back here. Obviously, it's not going to come inside here. It's not going to cross over until it's past the noodle. Back here. The key, what I'm looking for though, is my hand, my arm. I never want my arm from my eye line to come across the noodle. Okay? As I turn, I don't want my hands to get beyond that noodle. So I'm turning and I'm just leaving my hands back here and keeping my hand inside of that noodle from where my perspective here. Like, I don't know if you'll see it on the camera back there, but it's really from my perspective. Okay, as I rotate, my hand never crosses that noodle, and that gets the club here. The club head can cross it, it has to, but my hand never does. It stays tight to my body, and that's the key. When you get your hands out away from your body, that's when trouble happens. That's when you start coming over to the top. That's where inconsistency lies. That's where your duck hooks come from, because you get this here and then you gotta jump and flip and do all this crazy stuff. So this little drill, rotate, and never, when you look, like, that's not bad, but it's not great. Right here is great. And then, you know, you could tell during your swing what's happening and just feel it. So here's I usually get my alignment stick because the wind blows these things around. Okay, that'll hold it. All right. Might need 2 of them in there. Okay, so about 2 clubs, 2 club heads, 1, 2, perfect. Okay. Okay, again, keep my hands in here. Don't pull it down, Just leave your hands there. And feel that. And that would be something that, that I like to do a lot, so that I'm getting that feeling of shallowing that club out. And also, I know I'm not bringing it too far inside. Just taking it back. And you should be good. That's a great drill that I love to work on to really help, again, like I said, shallow out the club. Okay. All right, you guys seem to be helping each other out there on the chats, which is great. Another drill, so this will really help you. And then what I also love to do is, you gotta be careful with this one. Get my alignment stick, just put it in the ground, back here. Okay. Try to get it, you know, the same angle as my swing, as my club on setup, but it's not that important. Okay, put this in here. Okay, here's what I'm looking to do here. I really want to exaggerate this feeling. So let's say my ball setup is here. I want to practice taking it out here and then come underneath and feel that, okay? So practice out here and then swing it underneath. Always look where your ball would be. So I'm taking it back out here. And you're gonna feel really weird in here. Like if you release a little early, I mean that release is so late because you're holding that, and then, but it's a good way to feel, you know, I'm just a couple feet away. It's a good way to feel that shallow out and come through. Because you're not releasing till way beyond the ball. So you're just here. Okay? So I love doing that, and then getting up on the ball, then hit a shot and feel the exact same thing. I hit that good. I mean, for some reason I always pure it when I do that. It's just a great way, a great little drill to start feeling the right feeling that you're looking for. Take it back here. Because most of us come here and then we do that. We come over top of it. And you gotta, and it's not about pulling down. I want you to pull those hands down. That's how you get stuck. You pull those hands down. You take it back. Turn those hips. And it's gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel like you're, you know, it's gonna feel weird like you're losing everything, but that's the feeling. That's really what you want. And then on a real golf swing, you could step up after you have the right feeling and try to feel the exact same thing. You just, I don't know if you could tell off the channel, but I mean, I'm hitting that really solid, even with that lawnmower behind me. Overlook the shoulder. Okay, so again, we've got to shallow out that club. The more you shallow it out, the better. Then you're using that giant sole. Look, there's a reason they put this giant sole on the 3, because they want you to use it, right? They make all the clubs. Unfortunately, they don't show us how to use them very effectively. They just tell us they're better than everybody else's. It's like, man, so we're left to our own devices here. We've got to figure out, okay, how do I utilize this technology? There's a reason this is like this. And there's a reason your wedge has a skinny one, right? There's a reason so you got to use that. Don't be afraid to bang that on the ground when you're hitting it. If you're shallowed out, you've heard people say, oh, I drop kicked that. A drop kick shot goes a long way. because that club kind of hits the ground and the ball at the same time, and the ball just comes out with no spin. And with your hybrids, driver, that kind of stuff, it's really good. Just feel that going back. You feel it. So let's jump into the driver. See where we're at. So with the driver, it's the same thing with your driver. This is what you want to feel. Take it back, under that. Take it back, feel here. Feel that, okay? Let me move this so you can see a little better now. And those are the keys. Now, a lot of people have problems with the driver. I get it, I know. There's many reasons why. And I want to see everybody have great success with your drive. Because for me, it's really become like one of my most consistent clubs. And I feel so confident with it. And I think once you get to a certain level, driving the ball should be a fairly easy piece of the game, to be honest with you. We always look at Tiger and say, well, he can't, why can't he hit the fairway? Well, he's swinging 125, 6, 7 miles an hour. So you're just a tiny bit off. You're not going to hit a fairway. So you guys watching, you're probably swinging 90, 100 miles an hour. And we're not hitting the fairway, right? I mean, how often are you hitting fairways? Hopefully a lot. But if you're not, because you're slicing or whatever, there's just little things we can do to really have great success. One is our setup. I always talk about setup. Always. Your grip matters a little, but there's all different grips, but that's part of setup. But setup is key. I'm square, tiny little tilt. My grip is my grip right there. Ball position is off my left ear, and I have a slight tilt. All my fairway woods and hybrids have the same amount of tilt. I'm just like, I just give it a little like a turn, tick, like one little turn right there. That's it, I don't want too much, okay? Again, I'm taking it back here, about this far, at least in my mind. My thought process is take my hands back to here, and then lay that club down. Lay that club down and keep my hands close to my body, right? I don't want my hands getting far away from my body here. I want my hands to come closer to my body. Like this is like Jim Furyk, and then like that's gonna be better for you than hands way away from my body. Let's keep them close to our body. We're trying to get consistent and hit the fairway. Look, you look at the women on the LPGA tour. Like, they hardly miss fairways, and they're driving the ball 240, most on like average, maybe less. The long hitters are 250, 260. So that's something you could shoot under par, swinging 90 miles an hour. You don't have to be swinging 110 miles an hour. Okay, my swing speed, Telly, with my driver is like 110 max. That's when I'm feeling really good, and when I'm not trying to swing hard. My 6-iron, I don't know. My 6-iron goes like 185. And my driver will go, I carry like 290, 300 sometimes, but it's a really good drive. It's got to run out for me to hit it over 300. Okay? And I'm not taking a long swing. I'm here, squatting down, and trying to flatten that thing out. That's my goal. And that's the key. So if you're having problems driving the ball straight, okay, you've got to be able to identify where in your swing is the problem. Where does the problem happen? Most people don't do this, okay? So here's what I do when I'm struggling. Take my setup, okay? I'm like, okay, my problem here. Okay, that went straight. Okay, I didn't slice that. So now let me swing a little bit longer. I'm trying to find my problem, right? A little longer swing. Oh yeah, that was pretty good. Straight again. Right, now okay, and that was like a little bit less than half swing. Less than half speed. Okay, let me give it a little more power on this. Right, oh, I sliced it, right? Maybe you did. Then you've just identified where your problem is. I mean, get your cell phone out and video this too. And say, okay, what's the difference between this swing where that was perfect, right? And the swing after that sliced. And look at those two things and find out, what did I do different? Okay? What did I do different? Why did one slice and the other didn't? And then work from there. So now, let's say, okay, that's my problem. Right there, that's where I start coming over the top and slicing the ball. So now I'm gonna take the club back here and I'm gonna play a little draw from this short position, okay? Again, I'm, set up square. Don't set up for a draw, just set up square. Perfectly. Shoulders square, everything's good, tilt. Now, I'm just gonna try to push that ball out to the right and let it turn left a little bit from the short swing. Can I do it? And try to play a tiny draw from just before your problem area, right? Just before you start having issues. Brent, yeah, because I was super long already. Yeah. So Brent was saying he started swinging shorter and started hitting the ball farther. You bet that will happen. You don't need a long swing to hit it far. When I started golf, I was 18 when I first played a round of golf in my life. My grandfather said, hey, Matt, make sure you can see that club back here. And then that's when you start your downswing. Worst advice in the history of my life. I mean, that plagued me for years. Because I would take this club and not only is it long, but it comes way across the line. Otherwise you wouldn't see it, If I could take the same length swing, be back here, and that's way better than way over here. But whatever, right? So I had to learn how to figure that piece out. And I realized, when I go past here, that's when all the bad things happen. So when I was trying to learn how to play a draw, I said, well, okay, I know how to set up. Anybody can set up perfectly. Let me take a short swing and see if I can draw the ball. Well, I drew it. Wow, it's the first draw I ever hit in my life. I was like, okay, I can draw there. Now what do I do? Okay, that only went like 100 yards though, so I need a little more distance probably if I want to play college golf, which I wanted to. So I'm like, okay, all right, let me give a little more swing and see if I could, and still play that little draw. So I said, okay, huh. All right, I did it. That went 150, perfect. All right, all I need is 100 more yards and I'll be okay. I can survive. So, okay, let me see if I can get 250 and see what happens, and then I was like, oh, I sliced it. It's like, okay, so there's my problem. So I'm like, okay, well, let me work on that feeling at 150 yards or 200 yards, hitting a little draw with my driver. You're like, oh, that's great. Look, if you can hit your driver short, but it's in the fairway every time, what's gonna happen is you're gonna start playing around a golf. You're gonna start off short knocking it the first few holes, and then you're gonna start feeling better, a little more confident. Before you know it, you're gonna crush one, and you're not even gonna realize how far you're gonna think you hit this short swing, and the ball's gonna go far, but it's just gonna happen naturally because you started off right in here. That's gonna be the key. And shallow that out. Shallow that out. And you can hit the ground first. You can. I'll try to do it right here. And you can hit a decent shot. I hit the ground. If you're hitting the ground, it's a drop kicked shot, which is okay. It's not gonna kill you. Again, don't get worried about flattening this out so much that you think it's stuck behind. This is not stuck behind me because I'm opened up, my shoulders open, my hips are open. Just because the club is back here, I mean, that's just gonna fire. I mean, this is perfect. Doesn't matter. You look how low Sergio is. I mean, he and Ricky, like they're down here. So flat and stuck are two different things. Let's not get those confused with each other. Chin your arms this way. Okay, so what about tension in your arms or sequencing? Good question. So yeah, so when you are tense, obviously you're not going to be able to swing your arms as far or as fast. You're going to be too tense. That's a big over-the-top problem because everybody's tight. And then you start turning and your arms can't stay back if they're tensed up. Okay, so how do you, that's a good question. How do you stay, relaxed and not tense? Because people are grabbing that. Okay. I mean, you've got to practice that. You got to practice shaking those out. All right? And just having a nice light grip. And practice like barely putting your hands on the club. I mean, barely. I mean, this is off. Just barely. And just, practice. I wiggle around on the tee box. Not a lot, but I mean, I wiggle this right here, right before I go. And I just try to have my last sense. I'd rather have my legs tense, if something's gonna tense up. So my last move is kind of like this. I shake, I give it a little bounce, and then this is my first move, is squat down. That's what I try to get. Because if I'm squatting down, these are loose. But if my first move is take it back with my arms, then I'm creating tension. So my first move is I got a little bounce, and then I'm pushing it back kind of with my hips and squatting down at the same time. And that just lets all the tension out of my upper body, which is something I'm looking for. And then there's a piece of your swing where you really got to relax. And that's in the transition up here. Because a lot of people squeeze with their hands right in here. You start squeezing your hands. And that, again, if you squeeze, you're coming over the top every time. So I do practice a lot where I take it out here and then I release my grip. Release it a little. Back in here. I'll do that. I'll take it here and I'll lay my right hand open a lot. Like just a feeling of just letting go. You could really let go with your right arm back there. Take it back, let it go, and just feel that. I mean, that's a great way to you're probably, I don't know how good you'll hit it. It's hard, but it's just that feeling of like, it's like that's where you exhale. Just, just like if you're a weightlifter or you're lifting weights and you're bench pressing, you're like, that's you're releasing everything up there. So from here, I try to just relax and let it fall. It's kind of like that's when you're jumping back in the pool. You just that's it. if I can get there and let this just drop, let it fall and turn, like that's the key piece of the whole swing. That's where if you can get right to here and you're done. You're done, because the rest, you're just starting the motion. Your body takes over the rest of it. That's why you can be a great driver of the golf ball, because all you're doing is just, you just have to start it. Just get it going. And then it's just momentum. Momentum has already, once it begins, then you're good to go. Okay, so just from here, just relax. Just think about, like, okay, you walked up to the edge of the diving board and you're just, that's when you jump and you're just free falling there. You're parachuting, you just stepped off the plane. And that's where you get it. That's a huge piece. It's like, okay, can I just get there? I've got a tough drive. My thought is short and just get there. You can get there. You can get there. Okay? And I'm like, I know I can get there. Now I'm not thinking, see, I never think about, like, okay, I gotta get the ball in the fairway. I gotta hit the fairway. Okay, don't hit it in the trees. Don't hit it in the water. Like, I never am thinking that. I'm thinking, dude, just get right there. I know I can get there. I can control that. I can get from here to there. I can get there. I know it. I know it, okay? Now I'm aimed good. I'm set up good. Everything's perfect. I feel good. I'm gonna get where I wanna get to. Just get there. And you're good to go. So think that's the mental piece of it. Is just get here and relax and start the swing. You just get up to the starting line and hit the gas. You'll be good. Okay, any tips on flipping the club? Yes, okay. Perfect transition. Because when you're hitting driver, now flipping is, I consider flipping this. Flipping this. Bloop. This is a flip. I don't really consider that a flip. That's just how my body just moves. I come in here and this is just kind of the wrist cup on the fall through. But a flip would be really flipping like that, and shutting the club too much. So typically I see why that happens, because you're too handsy in the swing, on the backswing, right? You're rotating that face way open, and thus you're wide open, and then you have to square it up. So you have to incorporate a lot of your hands in it. You have to return the club back to square, and your body knows it's wide open. So that's typically why you do it, because you're rotating your hands too much on your backswing. So I like to feel like I don't rotate my hands open at all. At least I don't feel like I do. I'm trying to keep it shut, if anything. I mean, that would be I'm not shutting it, but I'm definitely not opening it. I'm just letting it, like, I'm not rotating my hands at all. You know, I didn't rotate my hands. That club hasn't rotated. I think that's one of the huge myths in golf is rotate open. Set your wrists, they say. Some people do it. I get it. David Ledbetter's huge on setting those wrists. Michelle Wee does it. A lot of people set those wrists. I'm not a believer in that. It doesn't work for me. And when I've tried to do that, I've gotten it way open, and then I get out of control up top, and then I'm too handsy on the return. So I would much rather have no hands. Even if I don't hit it as far, I don't care. I want no hands, and then I don't have to worry about squaring the face up. Like, I never rotated my hands. Look at Bryson DeChambeau. That dude, he doesn't rotate anything. He's a pretty good player, very consistent. So, but again, some people rotate a lot. Michelle Wee, she's like, bam, like, she's like, you know, she doesn't do anything but set those wrists. So you could do it. There's different ways to do it. But if you're flipping, I would say take the rotation out and just keep from rotating. Once I started actually trying to keep the face shut, I got so much better so quickly. And issues that I had in my swing for years disappeared. They went away because I started watching different people when they would keep it shut. And I said, you know what, let me try that. And it totally, changed my game at that point. And it really helped me. Thanks, Telly. Appreciate it. Yeah, but you hit a straight shot every time. You keep yeah, John, you're absolutely right. If you rotate, you're going to hit a lot of straight shots, even if that club is totally shut. You look at Dustin Johnson, totally shut club face, bowed wrist, but he has a ton of rotation. And for me, it's a lot easier to control my rotation because that's my whole body. Like I can fix that pretty quickly, but how much my hands rotate during, this piece of the swing, I mean, that's like you're driving a Ferrari 200 miles an hour and all of a sudden you want to eat a hamburger. I mean, it's gonna be difficult. And so that's hard. I would much rather let somebody else drive and then I can sit in the passenger seat and eat the hamburger, right? That's easier. That's the difference. When you rotate, dude, you're sitting in the passenger seat. You just have to get the thing going. You're just like pushing a boulder down a hill. There you go. And it's in motion. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, some of those pros yeah, okay. Okay, all right. Yeah, like, again, like if you're hitting millions of balls, yeah, you can get used to that piece. But most of us aren't. So that's why we rely on other things, like that rotation. You could, rotating a lot all the time, that's not gonna really wear on your body a lot. Like if you go hit 1,000 balls every day, you're not gonna last that long. I mean, at some point you're gonna break down. But who has that kind of time? I'd rather just, look, let me just work on things that are gonna help me overall be better with my game. A lot of it's gonna be your short game, for sure. So I would spend 90% of my time working on my short game and hitting in my net. And then when I go to the golf course, I just play. Like I wouldn't even go to the range. I just go putt and then play. And I work on a lot of stuff when I'm playing on the golf course, in my long game. You can hit a lot of these shots. So I'm like, okay, let me just take it back here. No rotation, squat down, short swing, we're good. And I've seen some guys who can't hit it very far, shoot incredibly low scores, playing courses over 7,000 yards. I play with guys that do it all the time. All the time. I was at the California State Amateur Championship at La Costa, Omni La Costa Resort last week. We were out there Friday and Saturday, and I got to watch Bobby Busey. I saw him in match play. Now he bombs a ball. He's a 29-year-old dude, and he won the thing. Twice he was 4 down in 2 different matches. Never gave up, kept jamming it out. But what I loved about him, he didn't rotate the club at all. He actually took the club way outside and had a swing, short swing, kind of like this. And did his thing, took it way outside. Like, I don't like doing that, but he did it. And he bombed the ball. Short swing, bombed the ball. He's about my size. He's a little bigger than me. Just slightly taller. You could look up a picture of him on the SCGA website. But he beat Hide who I watched win the California high school state championships 2 years ago. He birdied the last 4 holes, did a little walk-off, and he doesn't have a long swing either, and he's as skinny as you could be. But you know what? He gets all his power, and you can look these guys up. You know, his swing is, he squats down more than anybody I had seen. He's just down here, and then all his power is from his legs. And I love that kid. I love watching his game, but he's so thin. Like, that's where all your power is going to come, is in the squat down here in your legs. And if you use those correctly and you come down here, you're going to be good. Even with that short little swing, it's going to be a huge game changer for you. Glasgow. Wow. All right. Hello. A long ways away. How's the weather out there? So I'm working on some things. Thinking about landing at a golf course to teach out of. Considering that. Let me know what you guys think. If I should do that or not. And where. But we're kicking it around, kicking that idea around. All right. So again, setup. Left ear, driver. Don't swing longer than you can hit it straight. Okay? If this is your driver swing that goes straight, then work on that first. Start there. Get a net. Throw up a dang blanket. Put up, I don't care, some padding. Do this at home. You don't want to go to a range and spend $10 on a bucket of balls and hit chip shots with your driver. So figure out a way to get this done inexpensively as possible, because this is your best friend right now. Right there. I'm telling you, if you do this and you slowly get better, you slowly learn to take a longer swing, you're going to have great success, for sure. And one thing I want to point out, I'm not pushing with my right hand at all, okay? And I'm just here. I'm letting my my legs and my body take the club. Okay? I'm not pushing with my hands. It's not what I want to do. I'm going to take it back and here, like, keep that back there. Sometimes I have my wife or somebody hold my club head back here, and I just kind of turn and loose grip, just so I can feel it being pulled away from me. Because that's the feeling you want to have. And just feel that little piece where that club is falling. That's the feeling, at least I like to have. All right, okay. I just want that puppy to fall. Right there. Right there. Let it fall. Even on that short swing. Let's have a little beat. Short swing, let it fall. And never swing longer than you could hit straight. Right? Never play faster than you could do it right. Isn't that what they say in music? When you're playing your scales, whatever, don't go faster than you can do it right. So that's your driver. That's all your clubs. Going back to my hybrid. Just to wrap things up here, I want you to work on this little drill. Tee your hybrid up on your driver tee height. And hover that club. Okay? I do this with my long irons as well. It's a great drill. Try to hit it no higher. I don't want it to go any higher than it would normally. Okay? Even though it's teed up high, I want it to go the same height as it always would. I think I topped it. I'm scared I'm going to hit it over my fence. Right? I just want to no higher than normal. hard to do. Because you're going to come right under that and do something like that. So you don't want that. But it's a great little drill. Hover that guy up. And there you go. And feel that. Feel that type of swing, because it can help you just take it back in a nice, relaxed way. Anyways, I hope today has helped you somehow with your fairway woods, your driver, your game, whatever you got. We'll be back, when? Tuesday, probably an hour later. Probably change things up a little bit and go an hour later. But we'll see. Kick it around. Anyways, stay tuned. Tomorrow, got an awesome video coming out. Oh, I think. It's not done yet, so hopefully we can finish it up. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And shoot me your questions, your swings to check out. Love helping you guys out. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, do all that stuff. We'll see you next time.